Julia's House Goes Home by Ben Hatke. Julia's house roamed the high hills looking for a home. And so when Julia saw the perfect spot glittering in the distance, she told her creatures, "That's where we're going." And all the creatures cheered. But the path from the high hills to the valley was rocky and rough. "Be careful," shouted Julia. But it was too late. Trip, snap! Julia's house rolled away without Julia. Down, down, down she fell. When Julia sat up, she was in a deep, dark place. She had nothing left but the sign from her front door. But there was a tunnel ahead, so she followed that. Just as Julia was getting really lonely, a familiar face appeared in the dark. It was Patched Up Kitty. "Come on," said Julia. "Let's go find our house." The cave opened out onto a shadowy wood. The house had surely come this way. Goblins and Folty were scattered about. "Follow me," called Julia. "We're off to find our house." They walked on until a sweet voice cut through the gloom. It was a unicorn. "I found your mermaid," it said. The mermaid asked if the unicorn could come along. Julia looked at her sign, the one that meant welcome to all lost creatures. "We'll make room," she said. The path of the house led through the gates of a graveyard. The ghosts were there, having drifted from the house as it rolled, with a host of specters and shades. "We'll make room," said Julia. "Just follow me." On and on they marched, and everywhere it was the same. Old friends found, new faces joining them. There were more lost creatures in the world than Julia had ever imagined. They all saw her sign and followed. "We'll make room," she told them. But she began to wonder. When they stopped to rest, the creatures talked about tea and toast and warm beds for everyone. Julia sat apart, wondering, turned to worry. There weren't enough rooms, she said to herself. But still she led them on until, bump! Julia looked down at the battered knob from her front door, and she knew she had to tell them. "Attention, please," Julia called. The creatures all looked up at her, with their teeth and their talons and horns. Julia took a deep breath. "I have something to say," she began. "It's about the house." But before she could continue, the ground began to shake. "Did someone say house?" a voice rumbled. It was a mountain king, the largest of the trolls. "A house rolled 'cross my head, and it's just o'er there, the hill," it said. "Wasn't much left of it, though." "Hooray!" the creatures cheered. "We're almost there. Keep going." Julia gathered her sign and climbed the last hill. And there it was, the perfect spot. It was the very spot she had seen glimmering in the distance, except it wasn't perfect. What Julia had seen was nothing but the sun glinting off the scraps in a junkyard, and there was nothing left of Julia's house but the front door. Julia put the doorknob back on her door, and she put down her sign, the one that meant all are welcome. She turned to the creatures who had followed her on the long march across the countryside. "I'm sorry," she said. "I let you down." "Let us down," they said. "Never. We have everything we need." The creatures set to work. They worked for a long, long time, and together they made a new house. with room for everyone. They called it Julia's Town. The end.